It is good to see you again. Welcome to day 12 of the Great CICO Experiment. So we stepped on the scale this morning at 209 pounds, so we are officially down 8 pounds from the start of the challenge here in 2 weeks. You can see here from the side just how dramatically my obliques and my waist has tightened up, some striations in the chest, more caps on the shoulders. So we are definitely tightening up and making dramatic improvements, even on the standard American diet. From the front, you can see the same thing. Waist is starting to get tighter. Abs still need to come in a little bit more, but you can start to see some definition on the V on the lower abs, some more definition coming in the quads. And then from the back, definitely a lot more detail. Now, when you do take progress pictures, it's important to be consistent. So I'm taking the pictures at the same time and place, fasted upon waking in my kitchen in the same lighting each time. So since we just completed check-ins and we've made quite an impressive transformation 2 weeks into this experiment, I wanted to go ahead and talk about that during the mindset portion of today's video. We're going to talk about how I'm feeling so far along this transformation, how I feel about the progress I've made, and what you can expect and what some good goals are if you are looking to do a transformation of your own. So first of all, let's go over some of the positives and negatives that I've been experiencing on this transformation. So first of all, a positive is that I'm getting to eat yummy food that I haven't had in a long time. And that is nostalgic to me. So things that I haven't had since I was an early teenager, macaroni and cheese, chicken fingers, things like that, that I wouldn't necessarily say I labeled as bad or evil, but I had labeled as unhealthy ever since I started my fitness journey 12 plus years ago. And it's enjoyable to be able to taste those foods again and enjoy them. So getting to eat the yummy food is great. No restriction is another positivity. Whenever I go to the grocery store, I literally, I literally can buy whatever looks good to me and that I'm excited about. I go down the cereal aisle, and rather than being like, should I have cereal today? Or if so, am I gonna have like the low sugar, high fiber, or whatever? I can grab whatever catches my eye, and that's kind of fun. Being able to have dessert again, ice cream sandwiches and cookies are the two that I've chosen so far. It's great, so I'm enjoying that. No mealtime stress, that's another positivity. So I'm eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner with an optional snack during the day, which I've usually have been taking the option of. Obviously, it has to fit into those 2,000 calories or fewer, but I'm very much enjoying having that structure where, for the most part, I eat when I'm hungry up throughout the day. Obviously, once I've reached my calorie budget, then I cut the meals off completely. But up to that point, I'm not worried about meal timing as a lot of traditional bodybuilding meal plans are. For example, I have to eat at 6:30 when I wake up, then I have to eat again every 3 hours, all the way up. If I miss my 3-hour window of eating, I'm going catabolic. I'm not optimizing my muscle growth. I'm not worried about that. So no mealtime stress. That's another positivity. It allows me to get out and about and focus on work or doing these videos when I want to. Stronger mentality is another positivity, and a more thankful mentality for the food that I'm eating has been something that I'm working on. So really counting the calories, writing down every single thing I'm eating. A lot of times with the foods that I am eating, it equals smaller portions. So having that strong mentality where I'm not hyper focused on food, I'm not eating out of boredom, things like that, I'm taking as a positivity, a chance to work and strengthen my mind, as well as an opportunity every time that I do eat to be thankful for that food and to enjoy every bite that I eat. Not everybody gets the opportunity to eat when they want to, and not everybody gets the opportunity to eat food as delicious as we have it. We can just go into the grocery store and pick out whatever I want. So I want to be, and I am thankful for each and every meal. All right, what about some negativities? Really, the main negatives that I've been experiencing on this diet are hunger after I'm done with my calories. So usually I've been expending my calorie budget up by around 6 o'clock or so in the evening. So from 6 to 7, 8, 9, 10 or so when I go to bed. And even worse, if I'm on call throughout the night with my full-time job at the medical examiner's office, that makes it so that I get pretty hungry. So falling asleep can be a little bit challenging. So far, I've managed to master it, and I've been tired enough because I'm busy working my 3 jobs throughout the day and working out and like being on call sometimes through the night. So I'm tired enough that I'm able to fall asleep. So it's not too much of an issue sleep-wise, but definitely experiencing some hunger. Fatigue is another thing that I'm experiencing just because my calories are so low. My maintenance calories, if I had to guess, were probably around 3,000, maybe even slightly higher than that. So going from that to dropping 1,000 to 1,500 calories a day in a deficit is fairly extreme, and I'm definitely feeling it fatigue-wise. I have some energy throughout the day. Workouts, the energy have been great. I've been timing eating things like cereal and sugary foods around the workout that give me that quick energy, and that's definitely been helping. But as far as by the end of the day, the last couple hours, I really have to talk myself into going for a walk or something like that with the family. Once I get moving, I'm fine. But if I gave my body the option, I would just sit in front of the couch and literally move as little as possible. Like my body doesn't even want to turn its head sometimes, or like usually I'll kind of fidget with my hands or feet a little bit. That fidgeting is cut way down. My body's trying to conserve energy, but we got to keep using that energy and use it from stored body fat, which has been working. And the last negativity was just occasional little bit stomach. I wouldn't say stomach aches. Day 2, I had that massive stomach ache and that legendary run to the bathroom. But since then, I haven't really had any stomach aches, but I can definitely feel in my stomach that because I'm eating less fiber and because I'm eating foods that may have a little bit more fat or processed, whatever the heck is in them, I definitely feel those effects a little bit in my stomach. Like something just feels a little different in there, if that makes sense. So not a huge negative other than that day 2, just something that I'm like, that's a little different. So anyway, those have been some of my experiences with this transformation. So now, how do I feel about the progress I've made so far? Excited is the main word. I knew that it is calories in, calories out. That's what this whole experiment is set out to prove. But I am very surprised by the dramatic nature of how 2 weeks into this experiment, already dropped so much weight, so much body fat, so much water, and from what it seems like, based on my strength performance in the gym and based on just the pictures, while I am a little bit flatter than normal perhaps, I haven't really seemed to have lost any muscle, which is fantastic. Going into a steep deficit and cutting protein down lower than my body is used to, obviously that would be a bodybuilder's first mentality of fear. Hey, I'm not getting a gram of protein per pound of body weight, so I'm going to lose muscle. Oh no, I'm in too steep of a deficit. I'm losing weight too fast, so I'm going to lose muscle. So this is somewhat of an aggressive cut, sort of based on like TNF. If any of you guys follow him on TikTok, he's a famous coach and influencer on TikTok, has some great information there. And he's kind of the one who first talked about aggressive dieting, at least that I paid attention to where I was like, okay, scientifically, if you do this for short periods of time, that makes sense that you could lose a lot of fat and still spare your muscle. Now, he's definitely not doing it the way that I'm doing it, eating the standard American diet, but that gave me the confidence to go forward into an aggressive deficit without worrying too much about losing muscle, and I wanted to see what would happen. And so far we have. We've been able to maintain our muscle, and we have clearly dropped a lot of body fat and water and junk just by how much my waist, my obliques, my back, everything has tightened up. So super excited about that. So what about you guys? For those of you who are looking to lose weight or transform, what should you take out of this whole experience so far? I think the two biggest things are definitely that I am proving that it is calories in versus calories out. So if you are serious about losing weight, especially if you don't have experience doing this in the past, I would absolutely portion out and measure your food. So most foods in America, especially most boxed, processed, whatever foods, will have nutrition information on the label. So, for example, even when I pour the milk on my cereal, I look on the back, I say, okay, I have 100 calories for 8 ounces of milk. So when I measure out my cereal, I'll put the bowl on the scale, I'll measure out the 40 grams of Cocoa Pebbles, which is 150 calories. Then I'll measure 8 ounces of milk into that bowl as well, which is another 100 calories. So there you go. I know I've got 250 calories for my entire bowl of Cocoa Pebbles. Then I'll write that down. 250 calories so far for the day. So definitely you have to track your food because a lot of people dramatically underestimate the amount of calories that they eat. So they might think and say that they're eating 1,800, 2,000 calories, and when in reality they're eating 2,500 to 3,000 calories a day, maybe not even counting the weekends where they go out and like have a few drinks, maybe have a couple cheat meals, and by the end of it, you're actually in a calorie surplus for the week rather than a deficit. So track your food, that's number one. And number two is obviously you do not have to be hyper restrictive. So a lot of people think dieting has to be chicken, broccoli, and rice, or fish and salad, or these foods that, well, good to have on occasion. If your entire diet is based around them, you're going to burn out very fast, you're going to be miserable, and you're not going to enjoy what you eat at all. So while it is good to eat clean, healthy foods, it's good to eat clean, healthy foods that you enjoy. And I'm proving with going to the extreme that it's absolutely okay to sprinkle in some fun foods that you enjoy if that's going to help you stick to your diet and help you enjoy it better, as long as you do so in moderation and keep it in a calorie budget. Now, if there are trigger foods that you have, for example, if you really love ice cream and you know you're not going to eat your 200 calorie serving of ice cream, which would be maybe 1.5 good sized scoops, if you're going to eat the whole pint instead, then obviously stay away from ice cream or find a better alternative, like one of those Protein Ninja creamy recipes or whatever that fitness influencers are always having out there. So avoid trigger foods if you have those, or better yet, what I'm working on right now is mentally overcoming trigger foods so that they are not trigger foods anymore. I want to have self-control and self-mastery over my body, that I'm not going to let food dictate how many calories I eat and control me. I'm not going to eat a cookie or a bite of ice cream and be like, oh, I can't stop, I'm going to eat more. And yeah, we're not going to do that. We have mastery over our bodies, so use that self-control, learn it. But in the meantime, if you know there's a food that's going to make this really challenging for you, then avoid it. Avoid it until you get a grasp of what hunger feels like, what you can accomplish, and what foods that you can eat and still enjoy your diet while achieving the results that you want to achieve. Also, I will say, while I'm going to the extreme to prove a point, slow and steady usually wins the race and definitely is able to stick to the results for the rest of their lives more often. So I would recommend, depending on how much weight you have to lose, going for 1 to 2 pounds a week as opposed to going to 2+ pounds a week as I'm going right now, or how extreme dieters such as professional bodybuilders, people like that, will drop weight faster. But that is because A, we have a lot of practice with this, and B, this is what we do. For most people, go for that 1 to 2 pounds a week range. Now, if you guys do feel like you want some help, guidance, or support from me on your fitness, weight loss, or health journey, I do online coaching. You can hit me up at the email that is in the description below. While this experiment will prove that I will clearly know what I'm doing to get in shape for stage or competition, even while eating the foods that I am eating right now, and being able to flexibly work that into your nutrition plan, I feel like my area of expertise really would be on helping somebody who is looking to just lose weight and get in shape, and be able to support them in that without having to fall into the pitfalls of a hyper restrictive diet, so that you can actually enjoy your diet while at the same time achieving progress, as I am right now. But that is enough about that. Let's go ahead and get to the meals and the workouts of the day. Today is a calisthenics day, so I'm excited to see the progress I've made. We had the day of recovery yesterday from the gym, so extra motivated from those progress pictures to see the results that we're achieving. So we're going to take that energy, take the Cocoa Pebbles that I just ate, and put that into a great workout this morning. For breakfast, we had a delicious bowl of Cocoa Pebbles and milk, weighed out to be 250 calories of simple, fast-acting carbohydrates to give us some quick energy before we worked out in the morning with our calisthenics. And the workout today, we made progress. So last workout, we were able to do 2 muscle ups on set number 5, and then 1 and failed at attempt number 2 on the 10th set. This time on the 5th set, we were able to do 3 muscle ups in a row. As you're able to see right here, exhibiting some good control on the negatives as well, but it was a very smooth 3 repetitions. I was very pleased with that. We tested that on set number 5 of the explosive pull-ups. Then we moved into our pistol squats. I did most of these sets on the ground, as I typically do, so I actually have to bring my leg all the way up. But just for fun, on this one time, I wanted to see the difference that it would feel if I was actually on an elevated platform doing the pistols. So I was able to get good full range of motion, good control, still have to move my hands around a little more than I'd like for balance and stability, but we were able to get in we did 5 sets of 3 repetitions on each leg there. Then we moved into the hanging leg raises, or the L-sit leg raises, which we then paired up with an actual L-sit hold. Since hip flexors are a weakness, I'll show you an exercise we use to work on that. But this is set number 10 of the explosive pull-ups. We attempted the 3 muscle ups again. We were able to get 2, which again was better than last time. But on that 3rd one, just couldn't get over the bar, too fatigued. So this is the exercise that we switched to doing for the L-sits for the second half of the workout, the other 5 repetitions. And the range of motion is very short. It looks very easy and very basic, but it actually burned quite a bit getting that contraction and hold on the hip flexors at the top. So definitely need to keep working that. Sissy squats, they're getting pretty easy now. Really good for bulletproofing the knees, but I think I'm going to start working on dragon squats for the second 5 sets instead of the sissy squats. And then just for fun at the end, we did some explosive work, jumping on the elevated little cross-section bridges, whatever you want to call those there. We had fun with that. Breakfast part 2 post-workout consisted of 2 waffles with Mrs. Buttersworth and a Nutri-Cost whey protein shake, 1 scoop of that. Chocolate peanut butter, my favorite flavor right now, absolutely delicious. Got that shaken up, good to go. Got our protein requirement, and then time to move on to the waffles. It always disappoints me how much syrup I get on the waffles when I weigh it out to an actual serving, but it turned out absolutely delicious anyway. So breakfast number 2 was an absolute win. After that, wanted to give my wifey the opportunity to take a nap, so I biked to the park with my son, my 1-year-old, and let him run around and swing and play, and we had a good time out there. I worked on my tan, and he got his energy out. When we got home, I made chicken fingers, mac and cheese, and a fruit cup for lunch. That one chicken tender kind of looks like a heart, so I wanted to capture that. The last meal of the day dinner, we had a burger, those salt and vinegar chips. That was the last serving I had of those, so time to get some new chips. And then a carrot. Absolutely delicious last meal. That is going to wrap it up for day number 12. We finished the day with 1,900 calories and 125 grams of protein. Had a great calisthenics workout where we continued to improve in strength in certain areas, so I was super excited about that. We are on call tonight, so hopefully it is a chill night, nothing crazy happens, and I get some sleep. But I look forward to seeing you guys in tomorrow's video.